Michelle Torrio, and this is the Be Mindful podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Be Mindful podcast. If you are new here, welcome. If you are interested in God, manifestation, growth, mindset, neuroscience, this is the podcast for you. So welcome. Since it is February and with Valentine's Day coming this weekend, I wanted to focus on self-love as the main topic for the episodes of this month. So I went on Instagram to add a poll on what topic you would like to hear. And in case you don't follow me, my Instagram is @MindfulRae. If you do follow me from this episode, let me know. Send me a message. I would love to connect with you and say thank you. So on this poll, I had 4 options, and of course, there was a 3-way tie. So the option chosen was the title of this episode. I'm pretty sure anyone can relate to losing a friend or even going through a breakup. I didn't want to just focus on one or the other because whether it is romantic or not, it's a relationship. And maybe this is a relationship that no longer exists in your life, and for good reason. This episode really inspired me to share my own experiences with releasing relationships, both romantic and friendships, in the past, while also providing you tips on what you can do if it feels like a relationship is falling apart or doesn't feel right. I want to make sure I give you tips on how you can respond to the loss of a relationship and also why the removal from God may not always make sense, especially immediately, but it's for a purpose. All right, let's get into it. God removes people from your life for this purpose: alignment and growth. He just doesn't add to our life, he also subtracts. And that's because if it's no longer serving you, he is going to remove it from your life. And what is no longer serving you, there will normally be signs of what you need to let go of. And this isn't just people either. It's habits, it's beliefs, it's even the food we eat. Our bodies respond to all of it. When it's time to release something, we can feel it. Sometimes we're not fully aware of it, but that's what's really important here is awareness. Awareness of our daily emotions is where we can start. Emotions are signals, and if we notice that we're not really happy, and especially being around a specific person or a few individuals, then listen to that. So when it comes to people specifically, I want you to ask yourself, how do you feel after being with that person? Do you feel recharged? Do you feel the love? Do they uplift you? Or do you feel drained or even start to question the friendship that you have? Letting go of someone in your life doesn't mean that they were a bad person. It means that they were just no longer aligned with you, and their time to be in your life was only for that period. I really do love the quote that relationships are like seasons. They come and they go. While others are fortunate enough to remain and grow with you through multiple seasons, or even maybe the rest of your seasons of being here. And if there's any guilt of a relationship that ended, I ask you right now to release that. Loss is protection, not punishment. Maybe you both just weren't serving each other anymore, which is okay. You bless them and you choose yourself. I really do believe that you cannot grow if you don't let go of the things that are holding you back. For example, romantically, if I didn't let go of my past relationships, I wouldn't be with my husband right now. My last one, I was cheated on, and there was a lot of mental and emotional abuse. Releasing that, God gave me John. And when I started dating him, I remember being shocked because it was a full 360. I remember just questioning and being so surprised of how good of a man he was. And in times, I felt like I didn't deserve it. I had to really, really work on my worth. And he's a big part of that journey, like allowing me to learn how to love myself and knowing that I deserve that type of love. As for friendships, I fortunately did not have many toxic relationships, but there was one that was painful toward the end. Creating new friendships are like dating. There's a book that I read and it's called Breaking Up with Your Friends. I will put it in the description below. It's a really great book, and I read it during a time that I actually lost a friend, and it was really helpful. And that was one of the things that it said, was that creating new friendships is like dating. And sometimes we don't see the red flags because we just want to get to know this person and we're excited about the friendship, but we really do need to treat it like dating, because we need to be able to see the green flags and the red flags from the beginning, just like we would want to do if we started dating someone. And sometimes we don't see the red flags until after the friendship is over. And that's probably because we are so blinded by the love we have for that person that we end up not seeing any of the red flags. And on top of that, sometimes we view that person and we just can't see our lives without them. So it makes it hard for us to see clearly if they are actually supposed to remain in our life. Wildly enough, I lost 3 friendships within the same year. Yeah, 3. One of them even told me I was the reason I was probably losing friends. It was a really difficult time, and I did question, what is wrong with me? Like, why is this happening? And I was grieving. I was grieving so hard. And grief is totally normal. I do want to mention that, because you truly do lose someone. And it's painful too, because you just know that they won't be in your life anymore, even though they're literally here. So what did I do? I went to therapy. I wanted to navigate through it and work through those emotions. And no joke, my life exponentially changed for the better. Not just because I went to therapy. That was obviously a lot of help, but I was moving up in my career, new opportunities started opening up, and then I also gained better friendships. That same year, I actually met 2 of my really close friends, and they're pretty much family now. So I share those experiences with you because I understand what it's like to be in those moments where we don't know why the relationship needs to be let go of. But I do believe, even if someone hurt us and we are angry with them for whatever they did, like, forgive them, move forward. Like, the past is the past. Also, I advise you to thank them for that experience, because when we go through experiences, even if they're painful, those are specifically experiences that we can learn from and now know what to look for in relationships, both romantically and in friendships. So let's go over a few ways you can determine if this relationship is right for you, both romantically and through friendship. So if you're literally going through this right now, you might want to write this down and save this episode, because I think this will be very helpful for you. And just a reminder, if I say relationship, I am talking about romantically and friendship. So I'm just going to use relationship for both. So let's say this relationship, I want you to ask yourself, if you feel like you are evolving or shrinking when you spend time with them. I get that sometimes it can feel like you may have different interests, goals, or dreams, and they can also change as you grow, because we're all in completely different timelines. But even if that's happening, do you see the ability in that relationship to continue to grow and evolve together, even if your goals and dreams may be different? Like, for example, do they support you? Do they check in on you? That's a really big, important aspect of friendship for me, especially obviously romantically. But if they don't support you or even check in on you, then is that really a friendship? For me personally, I am just a very low maintenance friend. Like, if we don't talk for like a few months, like, I'm not going to trip about it. I have friends that sometimes I don't even see them for months, and that is totally okay with me, because I understand that we have our own lives. I'm in my own lane, you're in your own lane. I want you to do you, and I'm never going to hold it against you just because we haven't talked in a few months. Your expectations and what you want in a friendship or a relationship, you must have a clear communication with that other person. And if they don't think that what you're able to give them is enough, then maybe the relationship is just not going to work. Everyone has different expectations in a relationship, no matter what. And that is okay. But it's never going to build strength And you're never going to be able to grow together without actually communicating what you expect in a friendship. And even though for me, my friendships are low maintenance, they know, every person that I am close to and I love, they know for a fact I'm going to show up for them regardless, no matter what, to the capacity of what I can, because of course, boundaries are still necessary and we should always choose ourselves. But again, try our best to show up for the ones that we love. Another way to determine if a relationship is right for you is by asking yourself if the relationship betrays your values. For example, are they leaving a positive or negative impact on you? Do they steer you away from what is important to you? That's something to keep an eye on. For example, if you're working on something that you're so passionate about and they're putting it down, then what is that, right? Like we don't need that negative energy in our life. So again, asking yourself, like, is this relationship betraying your values? Another question I like to ask myself is, do they leave me with confusion instead of peace? Like, do I constantly need to question where we stand in this relationship? Am I more stressed after being with them? This also ties to neuroscience. I've mentioned it in a podcast before, but stress is the number one leading causes of death. And stress can also create diseases. We don't want that, right? So when it comes to relationships, do you feel more stressed after hanging out with someone? Is your nervous system at peace? Do you feel emotionally regulated when you're with them? This is so important, and I wish I knew this sooner, because I remember there was someone in my life that every time I hung out with them, I just felt so drained. And then every time they wanted to hang out, I just had this ick. Like, ugh, I don't really want to hang out with them. And I didn't know why, because it's not like they did anything wrong to me. It's not like they hurt me. They were a great person, but I didn't know what it was. And then fast forward, they end up disrespecting me and doing something really wrong, unfortunately. And that was a clear sign that I needed to let go of that friendship. But somehow, internally, we know if we need to let go of someone. Now let's get into the neuroscience about it. There's actually neurons in the brain called mirror neurons, and our brain will actually activate areas to feel what the other person is feeling. We can basically sense their energy that they're giving off and the ability to share their emotional state. This is another reason why I am so picky with who I associate myself with, because you become who you associate yourself most with. That's also something I think my mom or my dad used to tell me when I was younger, that who you hang out with, you become. And it's so true. If you are finding yourself in rooms where you don't feel like you're growing, or you don't feel loved or supportive, then you are in the wrong room, girl. I'm gonna tell you that. So if you are feeling any of this, stressed, your nervous system is just feeling like you shouldn't hang out with this person, then that is a sign. And the last question I want you to ask yourself to determine if this relationship is right for you is, are you holding on due to fear? For example, are you in a relationship that you are not 100% happy with, but you're settling just because you've been with this person for so long, or just because it feels comfortable? Or maybe it's a friendship. You are scared that if you let go of this friendship, how it's going to ripple effect and impact other people that you love. If you are questioning the friendship and you are literally scared of what's going to happen, that is your sign that you have to let go. You need to let your wings spread. And of course, if it's meant to be, you will find your way back. So if you're in a season where someone has been removed from your life, or you feel distance growing where there was once closeness in that relationship, I want you to know this. It doesn't mean you failed, and it doesn't mean you weren't enough. You are always, always enough. Sometimes God removes people not to punish us, but to protect us, to protect our peace, to protect our growth, to protect the version of us He's calling forward. And that also means that not every ending needs a full explanation. Some endings are simply invitations to trust deeper. and to choose alignment over attachment, and to believe that what's meant for you will never require you to abandon yourself. So if you're grieving a relationship that ended, hold compassion for yourself. Give yourself some grace. And if you're feeling lighter, even if that feels confusing, honor that too. I love this quote that growth often comes disguised as loss. Normally, you start to see things be removed from your life because God is getting ready to level you up. So take a moment after this episode to reflect or pray and ask, like, what is this season trying to teach me? And I encourage you to trust that whatever God removed, He did that so with intention. And whatever remains is making room for something healthier, more aligned, more peaceful, and something just so much more bigger that you deserve. And that is all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you resonated. I know what it's like to lose someone that you love and grieve for them because they're no longer here, but it's okay. It's okay to move on. It's okay to bless them and just live your life and welcome new people and new opportunities to just come your way. And as always, don't forget to be mindful because who you are from within will attract from the out. See you in the next episode. Bye.